Okay, we're recording. So we've had a couple of requests from different people for a session focusing on the shoulders. So we will, I think we'll do that today. Now, the shoulders have to be, I think, probably the most complicated joint in the human body. Very unusual joint, and there's lots. There's a huge different range of motion, different planes of movement that the shoulder works in. And also related to that, there's lots and lots of different exercises that we can use for the shoulders. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive everything you can do for your shoulders, but we'll do a few that focus on working deep into our shoulders. And we'll also, as we do this, we'll look at some of the principles that are really important in terms of making healthy shoulders as well. So let's get started. We'll start just with some simple joint rotations. Just to get everything moving as we get started. So starting with our wrists. And the other way. Moving out to the elbows. And the other way. We're going to move on to shoulder rotations, and if we're specifically taking care of our shoulders, something that can be really useful is to place your fingertips into the crease of the shoulder. There's kind of a line down through here. If you put your fingertips in there and press in gently, it's going to help to support the shoulder while you do these movements. And specifically, it's going to support some of those muscles in the rotator cuff. And so you might find if you do press in gently while you're doing this, that it's less likely that you're going to have as much clunking or funny sounds coming out of your shoulder while you make the circles. And we'll go the other way. And again, just that gentle pressure helps to support the joint and to keep it stable throughout the movement. And we'll switch to the other side. Big circles, pressing gently into the crease of the shoulder. And the other way. Okay, hands on your waist, on your hips, circling at the waist. And the other way. Knees. And the other way. ankles, and the other way. Other ankle. And the other way. With our neck, we'll tilt forwards and back and forwards, back and forwards and back, and to one side and the other 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 side, and coming back up to the center, twisting side to side, nice and loose, letting your arms swing, loosening up your whole body. And coming back to the center and settling. Okay, so we'll take a few moments just to tune into our body, our breath, our energy. So feet shoulder width apart, sinking your weight just a little, keeping your back straight, your neck long, your shoulders loose and relaxed at the side. Tune into the sensations of your body. See if you can be aware of every part of your body, your toes, your feet, your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis, your abdomen, your chest, your back, your shoulders, your hands, your neck, your head. Be aware of your whole body. Also be aware of the movement of your breath through your body. Feel your whole body expand and contract with each breath. Deep, full, relaxed breaths. And when we let the breath move through the whole body, when we let the whole body move with the breath, this stimulates the flow of energy. The energy starts to flow more freely. And so you might start to feel that energy becoming more active within you as well. Okay, so first movement we're going to do today, we're going to bounce on our heels. Bouncing up and down on our heels. Now, we did talk about this a little bit in one of the previous sessions. We have a couple of things going on here. As we bounce, we're dropping, we're releasing tension from the body. But at the same time, so we have the release down, we also have a stimulus up. And specifically, it comes up through our bones when we're dropping onto our heels. So it stimulates, so we've got the earth element dropping down, becoming grounded. And then we have the water element rising up through the bones. And now you may think, well, what does this have to do with our shoulders? Well, as I mentioned, our shoulders are a super complicated joint. Part of the reason for this is they don't actually attach into the rest of our skeletal system the way a lot of our other joints do. They're not connected in, with some cartilage or something like this. It's a loose, free-floating joint, and it's attached basically just by the muscles. And so for our shoulder to be healthy, it has to have a stable base for it to sit on. And so it's the muscles, so that's the earth element connecting it, sitting onto the rest of the skeletal system, which is the water. So we're activating both earth and water to start to create a stable base for the shoulders to sit on. Okay, bringing your feet close together. We're going to work more with the spine, creating that stable base so that the energy can move freely. You're going to start to turn side to side, sink your knees down, hips go in one direction, shoulders go in the other. We start to get a snaking movement coming up through our spine, releasing tensions in our spine so our spine can be nice and stable. And then we're going to start to extend the hands out to one side, turn them over, come back to the other side, turn them over to the other side, side to side, loosening up through either side of the spine. And we'll gradually start to come down a little lower. Each time just a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. And coming right down, bringing our hands down, close to the ground. And then we'll start to rise, coming back up. Side to side. And we'll go all the way up. Bring your hands nice and high, all the way up. And then lowering them back down in front of our chest. Stepping your feet out to shoulder width. Lowering your hands down. Breathe in, raising your arms up to the sides. And we breathe out, pressing up. And we're just going to stay in this position and breathe for a few breaths. So it's a whole body stretch, of course, opening our shoulders up, but we're stretching out everything underneath the shoulders so that they're going to be able to support our shoulders well. So we're just going to breathe here for several breaths with our hands up, pressing upwards, and then lowering the hands down, open, and release. So we're going to do this again. We breathe in, raising our arms out to the sides. Breathe out, press up, open upwards. Breathe deep, full relax in this position. If you want to, you can come up onto the balls of your feet and see if you can hold this position on the balls of your feet. Breathing deep, full relaxed breath. And then lowering down, opening out, and dropping down. So one more. We'll breathe in, raising the arms to the sides. Clasp your hands above your head. Breathe out, press up. You can come up onto the balls of your feet if you want, and then hold this, breathing deep, full relaxed breath. And lowering down, opening the arms, and releasing. Now we're going to come up onto the balls of our feet, lift our shoulders as we breathe in, and breathe out. Drop down. Breathe in, lifting up. The shoulders come up onto the balls of your feet. Breathe out. Down. One more. Breathe in, lifting up onto the balls of your feet. Lifting your shoulders up. Breathe out. Down. Good. Stepping out into a horse stance. You don't have to go super low. Come into a horse stance that's going to be comfortable for you, because we might be here for a little while. So bringing, if it becomes too much at any stage, you can make it narrow, make it easier. So we're going to raise our hands up in front. Then we're going to breathe in, opening out, and breathe out. Breathe in, opening. So we've got, it's kind of right angles. It's not exactly right angles, but this sort of kind of right angle shape in our arm. And then come back in front. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in. My camera's on quite an angle today. Breathe out. Breathe in, opening wide. Really feel it open through your back. That's opening the front of the shoulders, and we really feel that activity in the back. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in, open wide. And breathe out. Okay, opening your hands again. This time we lower one hand. Just breathe normally as we do this. And the other hand stays up. So we're going opposite directions. Push those hands backwards. And then we change, coming the other way. Push the hands backwards, other way. Push those hands backwards, other way. Hopefully you can feel that twisting movement through your shoulders, opening them up. You may actually feel some of the activity from this going all the way down to your spine, to your waist. That stable base for our shoulders. Open. 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 And open. Bring the other hand up. Open your hands out to the sides. What we're going to do is we're going to turn our hands. We're going to look towards our palm that's facing up. And then we turn our arms, looking through in the other direction. So we turn. So this is an extension of the last exercise that we're doing. Working on this rotational movement of our shoulders, working into all the small little muscles that surround the shoulders through the rotator cuff, in behind the shoulder blade. Twist and turn, side to side. It's like twisting a rope. And then we go to the other side. We twist. Turn to the other side. Twist. Turn to the other side. Twist. Turn to the other side. And if you can, reach outwards at the same time, so you're lengthening outwards. We turn, so we twist, we reach, turn, twist, reach, turn, twist, reach, turn, twist, and reach. Bring your hands back, palms down, facing to the front. Lower your hands. Breathe in, raising your hands up. Breathe out, opening out to the sides, and we feel it opening down from our neck, down into the back, and we feel that activity behind our shoulder blades. So we lower our hands. We breathe in, everything is nice and relaxed. And then we breathe out, and we pull down. We're making claws, so we're actually pulling down to the sides, and we feel all of that activity into our back muscles behind our shoulder, lengthening through here. Lower your hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. We'll do a few more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay. Breathe in, pulling your fists back. Breathe out. Elbows come up, back, forward, and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Up, back, forward, and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Up, back, forward, and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Up, back, forward, and out. So of course, as we do this, we can feel it working all around our shoulders in different angles. We've got the forwards and backwards movement, the up and down movement. And those of you, which I think is most of you, who've done some Qigong, know that of course we're also working with the heart as we do this movement. And so sometimes when we're wanting to work on things, there's something quite far away from that part of our body that we need to work on to balance and stabilize things. And then other times there are things that are just in the immediate area. And so often with a particular issue, the organs that are nearby are going to have a strong role to play. So, for our lower back, we often work on things for the kidneys and for the large intestine, because they sort of sit right around there by the lower back. For our shoulders, often the exercises for our heart and for our lungs have a big effect on our shoulders. We breathe in, breathe out, up, back, forwards, and out. Breathe in, breathe out, up, back, forwards, and out. We'll do a couple more. Breathe in, breathe out, up, back, forwards, and out. Last one. Breathe in and out. Breathe in, turning to one side. Breathe out, extend your fist. Breathe in, big circle, circling behind. Keep breathing in, circling in front. Breathe out, big circle. Breathe in, big circle behind. Keep breathing in, big circle. And breathe out. Breathe in, big circle behind. Keep breathing in, big circle comes across in front. And breathe out. Breathe in, big circle. So as we do this, we're opening up the ribs, of course. We open the front of the ribs. We open the side of the ribs. And we open the back of the ribs for our lungs. And at the same time as we do this, we open the front of the shoulder. And then you can probably, if you bring your arm right across, really feel it opening up behind the shoulder blade, the back of the shoulder, as we finish the movement. Breathe out, breathe in. 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 Breathe out. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out. So we're going to do a fun one now. One probably some of you have seen. Maybe you've done it, maybe you haven't. It's often called serving teacups. We have a cup on the palm of your hand. You can do it just imagining you have a cup on the palm of your hand. It does help. If you want to go and get a cup now, you're welcome to. I have a bowl. I couldn't find a teacup. Bowl will do the job. So different ways that we can do this. You can do it standing up, relatively straight. You will get a bit more benefit for your shoulder if we come down into a horse stance as we do this. And so very simply, we're going to extend our hand out with the ball or just with our palm up. We then circle it around, and we don't want to spill anything. We come back in front. So we change to the other side. I need to move forwards from my wall a little bit. So extend our hand out. We circle, bringing it all the way around, keeping that ball or cup upright. We'll change hands. We extend our hand out across to the side, big circle, all the way around, bringing it back in and underneath. Change to the other side, extend out, big circle, all the way around, and come back underneath. So change hands. This time we'll try going the other direction. So we bring our hand back behind us and then bring it up, over, around, and back in. We'll change hands. Bring the hand out, back, behind. We come around all the way, around, and back in. Change hands. So back. So as you do this, you can feel, of course, you're going to feel your shoulder moving through a wide range of motion, working on all sorts of different angles. But it's not just your shoulder. Feel right down, again, it's into your spine, even all the way down into your waist and your hips, because healthy shoulders need a healthy platform. It's a big circle coming around other side. Big circle. So we've been alternating one side, the other side, one side, the other side. If you want to, it can be quite nice to do several movements in a row. So just with the bowl in one hand or the cup in one hand, we're going to extend out and we're going to keep the movement going with this one hand. So you bring it directly into the next circle, directly into, and it becomes a continuous motion. We'll try with the other side. Big, continuous movement. Really working not just through your shoulder, but down through the sides of your body, down through your spine, all the way into your solid base. All right, let's try going the reverse direction. So back, out, around, back, out, around, back, out, around. A couple more on this side. Out, around. One more. Back, around, and back in. Let's move to the other side. Back, out. Nice, smooth. Two more. Last one. So you can put down either your real teacup or your imaginary one. And we'll let that go. So bring your hands together. Breathe in. Breathe out. In case you leaned too far to one side or the other, we're just going to line things back up. Breathe in. Nice and aligned through our center. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lowering your hand. Breathe in, raising up. Breathe out, lowering down. Integrating our energy. Harmonizing yin and yang. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And breathe out. So bring your hands onto a low dantian. Settle into your posture. We're just going to stand for a few moments, still aware of our body, aware of our breath, and perhaps aware of our energy, and letting our energy settle and consolidate within us. We'll stand for a few more breaths, letting the energy settle. And as you do, observe the quality of your energy. Observe anything shifting, changing, settling within your body. And then we'll release our hands. Okay. I'll take a seat. All right, I will allow people to unmute themselves. How about now? Good, okay. So it's always interesting working with something that's inherently holistic to work with something specific. A lot of Qigong practices, we focus on balancing the whole. Does your sister know that you're doing the dishes? Yes, she does. Okay. Many Qigong practices, we work on balancing the whole system because in the end, true health comes from having the whole system balanced. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't sometimes focus on specific things. And in fact, it's very helpful to, because we might have some specific areas that are a problem that are stopping the whole system from being balanced. And we want to put more focus into them to sort them out. And so we will often do practices that focus on one thing or another. But we still want to consider the broader context of the whole system if we want to get really good results. Because you could do things very specifically just into your shoulder and not really get a lot of benefit if you don't also make sure that some of the other pieces of the system are also functioning well and in balance. And so as we talked about with some of the exercises that we did, some of the key things for the shoulder, yes, working directly into the shoulder, yes, working on some of the things that affects the organs around the shoulder. But a really big thing is to make sure that you have a stable platform for the shoulder to sit on, because it's this unusual floating joint. It's not locked in. It sits just connected with the muscles. And so we need those muscles to be healthy and resilient, which is where we work with the earth element. And then we also need that stable structure, which comes from the water, the bones, the spine, that sits on. So we need those two pieces working together well. And then we can then work with the specific range of movement of the shoulder itself once it's got that stable base. So that's why we put together a few of the different exercises that we did, working with some earth, with some water, with the spine, before we got more specifically in. All right, let's see if anyone has any questions or comments or anything like that. So people saying it felt good. Someone used silly putty, which is fine. Lisa says, I think you forgot we were in horse stance for like 90% of the time. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. As I said at the beginning, you can come out of a horse stance, you can stand in a narrower stance, but you will get more benefit for the shoulders by working on that horse stance and doing the exercises within the horse stance. But always, we don't want to push ourselves too far. When our aim is not to strain ourselves, we want to do it in a way that we work with our boundaries gently. But certainly, most of the exercises that we did, You can do it. You can do it down deep. Or you can do the same exercise standing up in a much higher posture, and that's going to be fine as well. All right. Any questions, comments? So I know who are a couple of the people who talked about shoulders before. I think Janice and I think Lisa was asking about shoulders before as well. How did that go for your shoulders? How do your shoulders feel after that? So we get 2 thumbs up from Janice. I can't see Lisa at the moment. She's not on my screen. Well, I think Lisa made a, there she is. Lisa, oh, they hurt a lot. So they hurt afterwards. They hurt during or afterwards. She's typing for us. Oh, I've got a bit going on. Hurt a lot at first, yes, and then after a while felt better. Yeah. So again, it could be a case, yes, it could be a case of, oh, Janice says she wasn't able to unmute herself. Oh, people aren't, okay. You should be able to unmute yourself now, I think, unless it is, someone said there's issues going on with
it's
Zoom
okay. I just thought if Lisa was trying to talk and she couldn't because
we could,
could.
Yeah. You couldn't. You can now. That's good.
Now I can. Yes. The teacup was fantastic actually, because it helped not only like the back of my shoulder, but my lower back, like everything. It just worked itself out.
It all works together, yeah.
It all worked out. But it's like I have a muscle that kind of like moves around. I don't know how else to explain it. So when we did
back of your shoulder?
Huh?
In the back of your shoulder?
Back, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the ones that will be really good for that, and again, if you have a specific issue, it is a case of maybe tailoring things specifically to what you really need. One of the ones that will be really useful for those muscles behind your shoulder blade is dragon spies its prey.
Yeah.
Because it's relatively gentle, but we can target in there as we do this. We want to feel, so we feel the lengthening here, but we want to feel the muscles behind our shoulder blade activating to draw the shoulder blades backwards. And you can really focus on that to get those shoulder blades stable. And then as you move into other things, it will be easier to hold those shoulder blades stable as you move into those other movements without it kind of, you know, slipping around on your back too much.
Right. That's, you know, when you explained how this shoulder works, it made sense. I was like, oh, so that's what's going on here. It's like moving around, and in some places it tightens, and in other places it's fine. So
one of the big things that happens with the shoulders it's to the health of the muscle tissue, because there's the muscles, then there's, you know, the fascia and the tendons, right? The muscle is the plump bit. Right, it's the bit that gives it bulk. It's the bit that the blood flows into and fills and things like that. And sometimes when things get stressed, the blood flow gets cut off and the muscle gets like, you know, dried out, and it becomes sort of skinny. And so then the whole system isn't as stretchy and bouncy, right? Body's working really hard to like hold things in position and stuff, but it doesn't have the bulk that it needs within the muscles. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah,
kind of been
because it was like held up. I had messaged you privately about this, but it's held up for a very long time this way. So this whole area was just mess after that.
Yeah, and so we want to work to increase essentially it's the blood flow, but then the bulk of the muscles. And that doesn't mean getting, you know, big and muscly, but we want to encourage those muscles to bulk out. And that's, again, this relates to the earth element. So these movements, the bouncing movements and things like that, encourage those muscles to bulk out. And then it's not just that they're going to hold things in position, they're going to hold them in position with a sort of springiness to them. They're going to have that kind of cushioning quality as well.
All right, so this whole routine that you did would help this problem?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I selected a bunch of things that all relate to that, and that's why we started focusing on some earth to sort of activate those muscles. Gotcha. and also the water for the spine before we moved into specific things for the shoulder.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so Jonathan says, my shoulders are pretty loose with the teacup exercise. My problem is my wrists, very inflexible. Yeah, so well, it's common for have more issues in one area than another, but they do all feed into each other. They will all affect each other, and so those issues with your wrist, if you're not careful, can then later on translate into a problem in your shoulder, whether that be tightness in your shoulder or actually excessive looseness in your shoulder, which can equally be a problem. And so yeah, for you might want to do some things specifically working on on the wrists for the long-term health of the rest of your system. Okay, cool. Any other questions or comments or anything like that? And for those of you who didn't have a specific issue with your shoulders, hopefully an enjoyable session anyway. You get lots of things moving, because again, even when we're doing those exercises specifically focusing on our shoulders, it's doing a whole lot of other things at the same time. It's working on our heart, our lungs, it's working on our spine and our hips, and we're really getting the energy moving. It's very hard to really just work on just one thing. Whenever you work on one thing, you're going to be affecting a whole lot of other things as well. So Jurian says it was helpful for my back too. It was a very nice set. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, look, thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming along. We will, yeah, I guess you've seen the schedules up on the website. We're sticking with the same schedule for now. We will probably change that in the not too distant future, but for now we're keeping with the same one. So I look forward to seeing you on another session soon.